In.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always good to see you. Walk us through what happened, because U.S. officials are giving Saudi Arabia a lot of credit for thwarting that parcel bombing attempt in Dubai and the United Kingdom. The information you provided stopped it. Walk us through what happened.
I'll tell you what I read in the papers, because I'm not in the official loop. But from my previous experience, there is continuous exchange of information between the CIA and Saudi security agencies, the General Intelligence Directorate and the Mabahith and the Ministry of the Interior. And I'm assuming that in the course of their usual exchange of information, that a blip came on the radar of Saudi security agencies.
And supposedly it was an al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula terrorist who was cooperating with you and provided the information.
That's what I read in the papers, but I would suspect that it's more than that. It's a whole range of procedures and processes that the kingdom has developed since I left the intelligence service, and to meet the present challenge of the terrorist threat to the kingdom.
So how good is the intelligence cooperation right now between the United States, the Obama administration, and the Saudi kingdom?
It's excellent. It's really excellent and has been growing over the years. And because we face the same challenges and the same threats from these people, the cooperation is very close.
How powerful is al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula? We've heard a lot about this American-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki.
Yes.
How significant is this group in Yemen right now?
It seems to be able to do things that they're not able to do in Saudi Arabia. And so from that context, their threat is not only on Yemen itself, but even on us and on you and the rest of the world.
They have bomb-making capabilities, we know that. How good are they?
They seem to be quite good. What I heard described as these parcels that they sent on the aeroplanes were so well disguised that in England, for example, it took them some time to discover it.
As we're speaking, Germany has gone on a higher state of alert right now. Yes. Do you have any inside information on what's going on there?
Alas, I don't. But I'm sure there is cooperation as well between Germany and the kingdom and other countries in the area.
How close is al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula to the original al-Qaeda led by bin Laden, wherever he is right now?
I believe all of the so-called al-Qaedas, whether in Yemen, in Iraq, in North Africa, in Southeast Asia, in Turkey, and so on, all have links to the original leadership in al-Qaeda.
And you're one of the few leaders who's actually met Osama bin Laden.
I did. I met him when, if you like, he was a good guy. This was
in the 80s?
In the mid-80s, when we were all fighting the Soviets in Afghanistan.
And did you continue having a relationship with him in the 90s?
The last time I saw him was the end of 1989. Or the beginning of 1990, when he came to me with a proposal at that time that he wanted to bring his army, as he called it, to fight against the communist regime in South Yemen, which later on became united with North Yemen.
Why is it so hard to find this guy?
You tell me. I'm surprised that it is hard, because I know that in the border area between Pakistan and Afghanistan, the tribes people there are, when I was working in the intelligence at the time, were very cooperative and will provide information if they feel that that information will get them a reward.
Do you think he's someplace on that border in Pakistan, probably?
I think he moves from both sides. When he feels threatened in Pakistan, he goes to Afghanistan.
And do you think he's still giving orders and commands?
I do.
How does he do that?
Well, by messenger sometimes. Sometimes they use one-off digital message.
And this notion that he's a sick man, has got kidney problems?
No. It's all notions. He's in good health.
So, and he's still on the loose, and nobody really knows, but you think they'll find him?
I think they should find him, and I think the United States should call the countries that are of interest, like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Russia, China, and set a plan in motion to capture or eliminate him.
You and I have known each other for many years, and I know you're a very blunt, candid man. Do you think the U.S. strategy in the war, and what's called the war on terror, is working?
Well, I think the whole world's strategy is still a work in progress.
That means it's not working yet.
It's not working to the fullest extent, in the sense that it has not eliminated the threat of terrorism.
Is the Obama administration strategy in Afghanistan going to be successful?
I hope so.
But do you think it will be? Is it working right now?
The president has announced that he's going to start removing troops next year. And he's hoping to be...
Is that a good idea?
In my view, the less American troops there are in Afghanistan, the better.
Why?
Because they create and incite resistance from the population.
Aren't you afraid the Taliban and Al-Qaeda will come back and take over?
The Taliban are not popular in Afghanistan. The Afghan people have experienced them for 5 or 6 years, and they don't want them back. But because of the presence of foreigners, and it's not just Americans, it's Europeans, it's other countries as well. So I think they should go after the terrorists, and once they eliminate them and capture them, then they can declare victory and move out of Afghanistan.
How close is Iran to building a nuclear bomb?
That is a question, if I knew the answer of, I would make a lot of money.
Because I know the Saudis are very concerned about
Everybody is concerned, and our concerns have been expressed to the Iranians directly. And we've urged them to join us in this call for a zone free of weapons of mass destruction.
Doesn't look like they're going to do that, though.
Well, they have done that in public. But
you don't believe them?
What I believe is that what they're doing is provoking the worldwide opposition to their program.
How much confidence do you have that the Obama administration knows what it's doing in trying to stop Iran from building a bomb?
I think all administrations, and not just the Obama administration, have a lot of information on what is happening in Iran. It's how you deal with that information, I think, that sometimes there are ups and downs in it. I think the attempt that the Obama administration made to reach out to Iran was a good diplomatic ploy.
But it was rejected.
It was rejected, and therefore you got more sanctions on Iran as a result of that rejection.
So what is the Saudi position? What should the world be doing right now?
The world should have the Middle East free of weapons of mass destruction across the board. And then when you level the playing field, you can bring us all to play on it. One thing that the Iranians claim to have against this program against them is they say that they are being singled out. Countries like Pakistan, like India, like Israel, like North Korea already have nuclear weapons, and yet they're not being treated in the same way.
Should the military option be taken off the table?
I think if the military option were in the context of the United Nations resolution establishing a zone free of weapons of mass destruction, and countries that don't join that zone can be threatened with the nuclear option, that will be the best way to go about it.
Mr. Ambassador, Prince Turki, thanks very much for coming in.
It's always good to see you, Wolf. Thank you.